Il catalogo è questo, delle belle che amo il padron mio. Il catalogo è l'ire che ho fatto io. Osservate, leggete con me. Osservate, leggete con me. In Italia 640, in Almania 231.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Potluck, your everything and anything talk and entertainment TV show. My name is Laura Hartman, and I am your host. Today we have 5 amazing and talented guests who are joining us from the Bel Cantanti Opera Company in Silver Spring. Please welcome to the show the founder, Katerina Souvorova. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name very well.
Okay.
And the other members of the opera company. Do you mind introducing?
Yeah. Yes, it's Emma Gorin, soprano. It's Julia Park, mezzo-soprano. Jake Stamatis, bass, and Rob McGinness, baritone.
Okay, well, welcome to the show. So, let's talk about the company first, because I've been in this area for over 30 years, and I've never heard of, usually you have community theaters, but I've never heard of like an opera company. So, tell me, how did you decide, or what made you decide to start this company?
10 years ago, actually exactly 10 years ago, I was working at George Mason University at this point, and I had a pretty group amount of singers. I usually have a lot of singers around. And it was just decision during one of the meetings, parties.
Okay.
Why don't we do something together? And that pretty much was it.
Okay.
We decided to do it. Our first show was 10 years ago in 2003. It was the Amalia Night Visitors by Minotti. And we did it in some church, and people loved it, and they said, do it again.
Oh, great. Now this was out in Leesburg, because I understand
In
that you started in Leesburg,
Leesburg, yes.
and now I don't know when you moved over to Silver Spring, but...
Yes, we moved to there about 6 years ago. I started performing there.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, how did you, get the word out to people? And I mean, I don't know any opera singers. I know a lot of actors, but I don't know, like, how do you find opera singers?
I'm a coach. I'm a pianist.
Okay.
So I usually coach a lot of singers, and I want to give young singers a good opportunity to perform. So this is our, let's say, motto, because we are based in Montgomery County right now, and we try to provide first an opportunity for the singers to perform, because a lot of very, very talented singers are around at Peabody Conservatory, Catholic University, George Mason University. There's tons of schools around.
Sure.
And they graduate from the conservatories and schools, and pretty much that's it. If they're not very lucky to get a young artist program, or get a manager, or get a, let's say, win a competition, it's very hard for them to find the opportunity to do professional shows.
Sure.
And that's when we decided to stand to fill the niche. So that's what we're doing. We're giving them opportunity to perform in intimate space with small orchestra for the audience, actually for the local audience.
Okay.
Which is also very important, because in many ways, if people want to go to see the opera, they don't have a lot of choices in this area. They have to go either to Washington Opera or get on the train and go to the Met. And that's when I think we give the opportunity to people to go for pretty small amount of money, $30, to go, travel 5-10 minutes,
Right.
get to the pretty informal performance, but the level of the singers is very good.
Okay.
So it's very good professional singers, orchestra, and costumes, and super titles, all kind of attributes of the show, but you can get it for $30 and pretty close to your house.
No, how did you, I know, with like, community theater or other organizations that put on performances, it's, it's kind of a struggle to like get people to help fund stuff like this. I mean, because you've got costumes and you've got sets, designs, and so forth. So do you have members that belong to, it's that the theater is called the Randolph Theater?
Randolph Road Theater, we are renting it to perform. We also perform at Jewish Community Center, JCC, in Rockville. But it's pretty much a group of enthusiasts. We're 501(c) organizations. So I have a board of people who are not singers, who are not professionals at all, but they like, and they share the same ideas. And it's members of my family, it's my husband, it's my daughter, it's it's friends, and we all do that because we love it. Pretty much, it's not the passion because of anything else.
So, so tell me a little bit about your background, and then we'll go in and ask each one of you.
Yes. So I came from Russia, actually from Belarus. The capital of Belarus, Minsk. Although originally I was born in Moscow and lived in Moscow for a lot of years. But after graduating from conservatory, I decided to work with the singers. And we had an opera house, big opera house in Minsk, and that's when I went. And I came there pretty self-confident because I had my postgraduate degree of all kind of, and very soon I understood that I know absolutely nothing about what opera is actually, what singers, how they sing, how conductors conduct, what is theater actually. It's very special. So for 4 years, I kept my head very low and tried to learn the repertoire. You have to learn about 30, 40 different opera scores to even be able to say something, smart. And that's where it started. And when you get into this life, it's like a virus, what I call, because theater is something what gets into you, and it's very hard to get out. When you belong to the theater, either it's straight play or music theater or opera, it becomes your life, pretty much. You just do it for the rest of your life, I guess.
Just kind of live and breathe it.
Yes, that's what happened. So I came from Belarus when we came here in this area actually not in this area, we came to Charlotte, North Carolina first, because my husband was called there to work. And that's in Charlotte, North Carolina. I started similar organization at the Central Piedmont Community College. And we started this opera house there, opera company. And it was actually pretty good there because based in the community college, it was started like a class first. We would announce audition in the whole city and people would come and audition. But we had the hall, we didn't need to pay the rent or anything else.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so that was very nice. And I lived there for 5 years. Then I moved here and I started doing the same thing, I guess.
Did you, looking back, did you ever think that you would ever start anything like this? Was this something in your dream, or just kind of just rolled into it?
I don't know. I wouldn't say when I came here that I wanted to start opera house. Again, having this dream, it was style of life. You have to belong to the theater somehow. And what is different in this area from the Europe where I was, we have every little city in Europe has opera house. And this opera house pretty much exists 365 days in the year. So it's your job to come every day to the opera house and do it since you're 20 till you're 55, pretty much. And that's when I came here, I was just like, wait a minute, Charlotte is a pretty big city, but I was just like, where is the opera there?
Right,
You
right.
know? And I remember that the first opera they were doing when I just came there was Tosca by Puccini. And I was so happy because I knew this opera by memory. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to get there to this opera house. And where do I go? Where is opera house? There's no opera house to start with. It's just like, it's performing arts center, you know, where everybody performs, not opera. And opera performs there only 2 or 3 operas per year. So that was the first difference, you know, because for me, I thought, oh, I'm going to be employed. I'm going, I'm going to get a job.
Right.
It's like, what job?
Right.
Where is the theater? You know, because they already done Tosca, you know, a week ago. So it was a kind of 3 weeks adventure. And next one will be sometime in 3 or 4 months. It's like, oh, really? You know,
So you have it going on every time, all the time.
Yes, so that's
oh,
what the thing.
awesome.
So, and all, you know, if you talk about European opera house, you're talking about, let's say, 10 coaches at least.
Oh, wow.
You know, and when I came to Charlotte, it was just like one person who would do something. And that was a great person. I remember him, and he was pretty much alive, so there was no chances for me to do something.
Right.
You know? So I felt like, so what do we do? You know?
Right.
So that's probably was the first idea. I need to do something.
Okay.
You know?
Great. So tell me about your background.
My mother has 2 degrees in theater, so from an early age, you know, I'd wake up in the morning, hear her practicing singing downstairs. Whereas other kids probably had lullaby music to go to bed, I had musicals to put me to sleep from age 2, 3 on. She took me to see plays starting at the age of 6 on, and so I knew I was gonna be a singer probably from the day I was born.
But how did you decide that? I mean, not just to be a singer, but how did you decide you were going to be an opera singer?
Actually, I was part of a young women's conservatory in Silver Spring in the 8th and 9th grade. It was called Singer Center for Girls, and one of our teachers was a chorister in Washington Opera. So she got us, I was in 9th grade, I remember this, she got us into the final dress rehearsal at Kennedy Center of Carmen.
Oh, nice.
And when Michaela came out to do her aria, I was like, that's it. Know what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I want to do that, and I want to do it right now. So,
Great. How about you?
Well, I moved from Korea when I was 8 to America, and in high school I started taking private voice lessons. But before, like ever since I was young, I loved singing, but it wasn't classical singing.
Right.
So actually my first opera wasn't until I got into college. But I took classical voice lessons with my teacher, and I thought, hey, this isn't bad, this is actually great, like why not? And then I went to college in Rochester, and then I got back, and I recently graduated from Peabody Conservatory with my master's.
Oh, nice. So I know opera's sung in like different languages, so you know, have you learned like Italian and other?
Well, we were supposed to, we're required to take at least 3 languages.
Okay.
So I came to America, I learned English, Czech,
Yeah.
but I was still 8, and I was still learning Korean too.
Okay.
And then we had to take Spanish in high school. But my teacher told me, you should probably take like Italian or German if you're gonna sing. So I switched into German.
Okay.
And I went to college, and they said, you have to take Italian first. Great, back to Italian.
Okay.
And then 2nd year, German.
Okay.
3rd year, French. And 4th year, English diction. And like by that time, I was like, what do I speak? Like what? I was so lost, but it's a lot of language work that we have to do.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, your turn.
I'm Jake Stamatis, and I grew up in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, which, if you're from Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, I can't say you know much about opera. It's a very small town, very rural, beautiful area, and what really I think got me into it was I was very fortunate enough to have a really inspirational music teacher in my high school who I was taking choir as just an elective, to fill extra time, and he was just inspirational to the point and kind of guided me to find a love for music. So there was a period of time where I wanted to be a music teacher, just like him. I went to Susquehanna University in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania to start my undergrad in music ed, and next thing I know, I fell in love with classical music. We had to take private voice lessons for the music degree, and I just fell in love with it, and next thing I knew, here I was singing opera, and it's, Katerina's so right when she says it's something that once you get into it, you can't get out of it.
You just can't stop. It's like an addiction.
It really is.
Yeah.
And
Great.
can't stay away.
Wow, I feel like you guys probably covered a lot of the basics. We all get kind of bit by this performance bug rather early on. I mean, I started out doing not just music, but also circus and straight theater as well.
Wow.
As I,
Do you have that on your website?
Not much. But as time went on, I kind of different doors closed and others opened, and so I eventually ended up doing a degree in vocal performance out at Oberlin Conservatory. And I mean, it's music just, it became a very obvious thing. It was always something I had enjoyed, but I also seemed to be reasonably good at it. So that was nice.
Okay.
It was like, I really enjoyed it. I seemed to be okay at it, so I've been following that path. I don't know, there's much to that more.
Okay, great. And I know you mentioned your website earlier, but what is your website?
Rob-McGinness.com. That's McGinness.
Okay, thank you. So now, for me, I haven't seen much opera, but I'm definitely going to come and check out your theater now that I know it's available, rather than going to pay an arm and a leg to go to the Kennedy Center or go up to New York or wherever. But it's really great to know that, and I saw online you guys have videos of your, of pieces of your show, and it's really spectacular. I mean, it's just like probably going to the Kennedy Center and watching a really great show, and you can do the same thing at a cheaper price, and probably get to talk to you guys and converse and So what are some challenges for you, real quick, because we're going to be watching a clip here in a second.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tons of them.
Okay.
There's tons of them. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of energy. We have a lot of desire. We do not have a lot of money, but it's not a lot of and not in use. But we are lucky that we found the way to create our art in a very intimate way. The theater we are performing right now is Randolph Road Theater. It's very small space, and the audience is, right in front of singers.
Oh, nice.
So when they see the show, they feel themselves like they are part of the show, which makes it very special.
Nice.
And that's what is different from having, 100 meters till the stage at Kennedy Center or anywhere else.
Right.
For example, when our actors perform, audience is right here. So,
nice. Great.
You feel like people are singing straight to you.
That's awesome.
And that's very special.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to watch a clip of all of you singing, I guess, or some of you singing, and then some other people from the company. And
come to see our show.
Yes, definitely come and see the show.
The Sound of Music.
Yes, The Sound of Music is going to be on July 11th.
July 11, 12, 13.
Okay, great. I'm going to definitely come and check you guys out. Yes, and I'll definitely put the word out to people. So your website is
belcantanti.com, BelCantanti.com.
Okay, and we'll put that on the screen. So, thank you again. And if you're just joining us right now, make sure you can catch us next week on the web at www.potluck-online.org. And stay tuned for some great opera. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Il catalogo è questo, delle belle che amo il padron mio. Il catalogo è dire che ho fatto io. Osservate, leggete con me. Osservate, leggete con me. In Italia 640, in Almania 231, 100 in Francia e Turchia 91, ma